For decades, no aircraft could touch the SR-71 Blackbird. It didn't just fly, it vanished into the edge of space at over 2,000 miles per hour. But now, its replacement has been revealed, and it's even more terrifying. The SR-72 Darkstar isn't just faster, it's a ghost at hypersonic speed. Mach 6, invisible, armed, and very, very real. As America's rivals scramble to keep up, whispers of secret test flights and next-gen weapons are making one thing clear. This isn't the future of aerial warfare, it's already here. So what makes the SR-72 such a game-changer? And why are global superpowers so desperate to counter it? Before the SR-72, there was only one ruler of the sky, the SR-71 Blackbird. Born out of Cold War paranoia and the urgent need to spy without being seen, the Blackbird wasn't just a plane, it was a technological miracle. While other aircraft relied on altitude or stealth, the SR-71 relied on raw speed. If a missile was launched at it, it didn't dodge or fight. It simply outran it. Flying at over Mach 3.3 and soaring 85,000 feet above Earth, it could cross entire continents in minutes. Its skin was made of titanium, pieced together so precisely that it leaked fuel on the ground but sealed itself mid-flight. It didn't carry weapons, it didn't need to. Nothing could catch it. The jet's futuristic look wasn't for style. It was built to absorb radar, disrupt signals, and blend into the night sky. Its engines were so powerful that even while parked, they could push out over 30,000 pounds of thrust. And inside the cockpit, pilots wore pressurized suits more fitting for astronauts than aviators. Nothing like it had existed before, and for decades, nothing came close. But even legends have limits. And when the Blackbird was grounded, it left behind more questions than answers. Because the world didn't just lose a spy plane, it lost its fastest shadow. In 1989, the SR-71 was officially retired. The reason? On paper, it was all about cost. Officials claimed it was too expensive, too outdated, and no longer necessary in a world shifting to satellites and drones. But behind the scenes, the truth was messier and far more political. Critics inside the Pentagon didn't just see the Blackbird as an aircraft. They saw it as a threat to funding for their pet projects. Promises of newer, cheaper technologies gave them an excuse to shut it down. They pointed to its lack of real-time data transmission. Unlike the U-2, the SR-71 couldn't send images back mid-flight, but that flaw could have been fixed. Congress even approved funding for upgrades. The Air Force just didn't spend it. Former commanders later revealed what really happened. The SR-71 was caught in a turf war. It provided intelligence that helped agencies like the CIA and NSA more than the military itself. Some top generals didn't understand how valuable the Blackbird's data really was, and others simply didn't care. They wanted it gone, and they made sure it was. Congress fought to bring it back. Pilots volunteered. The legendary Skunk Works team even reactivated a few aircraft under budget. But by 1998, after a final tug of war, the SR-71 was permanently grounded. Not because it failed, but because it succeeded too well for too long. And with the Blackbird gone, the world was left wondering, what could possibly come next? For years, there was silence, until whispers began to surface. For years, the skies were quiet. No aircraft came close to replacing the Blackbird. But in 2013, Lockheed Martin shattered that silence. They announced something shocking. The SR-72 was in development, a hypersonic jet, a true successor to the Blackbird. And unlike its predecessor, the SR-72 wouldn't just spy, it would strike. Designed to travel at speeds exceeding Mach 6, twice as fast as the SR-71, the SR-72 would be nearly impossible to track, let alone stop. The concept? A jet that could take off from the US, hit a target across the globe, and be gone before radar even registered it. It didn't need stealth. It was too fast to catch. Rumors swirled. Some claimed it had already been spotted over the Mojave Desert. Others said it had flown classified test runs from Area 51. The Air Force said nothing. Lockheed simply smiled. But one thing was clear. This wasn't science fiction anymore. At the core of the SR-72's terrifying speed is a revolutionary engine, the TBCC, or Turbine-Based Combined Cycle. It blends two power systems into one, a traditional jet engine for takeoff and low speeds, and a scramjet for hypersonic flight. At lower altitudes, it behaves like a regular jet. But once it hits Mach 3, it transitions mid-flight into a scramjet, using the speed of the incoming air to ignite fuel and push beyond Mach 6. This transformation is seamless, and once the scramjet engages, there's no stopping it. But it's not just about speed. The SR-72 ditches traditional tail fins for a sleek, tailless triangular shape, made possible by active flow control, an advanced system inspired by how birds adjust flight mid-air. Without vertical stabilizers, it's harder to detect on radar. It doesn't just slip past defenses, it erases its own signature. The body itself may even be an antenna, using embedded skin sensors to communicate, detect threats, and guide weapons, all without ever lighting up enemy radar. Unlike the unarmed SR-71, the SR-72 is a predator. It's expected to carry hypersonic missiles, long-range smart bombs, and possibly even laser-based directed energy weapons. Think about that. A jet moving at Mach 6, firing light-speed lasers at ground targets before they even hear it coming, and it won't fly alone. The SR-72 will likely operate alongside autonomous loyal wingman drones, small, fast, and deadly aircraft that act as its digital bodyguards. These drones will carry out recon, jamming, and even suicide missions, all controlled remotely or by onboard AI. The jet's skin is more than armor. It's alive with sensors, detecting enemy aircraft, jamming radar, and feeding real-time intel. Back to command centers. Everything is connected, and it's fast, very fast. All of this tech doesn't come cheap. Each SR-72 is estimated to cost around $1 billion per unit, and that's a conservative estimate. The US has already funneled over $10 billion into the broader Next Generation Air Dominance (NGAD) program. The Air Force and Navy are racing to finish parallel projects. The goal? Total dominance of the skies, not in 20 years, but right now. It's a strategy built on speed and first strike capability, and in a world of escalating threats from China and Russia, speed is no longer optional. It's a weapon. But here's the catch. Every new breakthrough raises the bar and the price. So what does all this mean? It means the age of stealth is evolving. We're entering an era where the fastest jet doesn't need to hide. It just needs to be gone before you even know it was there. The SR-72 isn't just a weapon. It's a statement, a signal to the world that the United States doesn't just plan to defend its airspace, it plans to own it. With active development, massive investment, and rising global tensions, the SR-72 is more than a concept. It's a countdown. One day the skies will rumble, and by the time anyone looks up, it'll already be too late. The SR-71 ruled the skies with speed alone, but the SR-72, it changes the rules entirely. It doesn't run from danger, it reaches it first, at Mach 6, in silence. And when it arrives, it's already gone. The question now isn't if the SR-72 is coming. The question is who's ready when it does.